it's frustrating, but the thing that happened earlier in the year against Lake Erie kind of had us prepared for it, because we were down 31-13 in the fourth quarter of that game. We won it. So we're up 31-10, and I'm thinking, oh man, Lake Erie, now let's see if we can just finish this thing, and then we couldn't. So really, when we got the ball back that last time, it was exciting. It was fun. It was fun to coach him, actually.
Coach, you guys suffered a loss last week, and the nationally televised loss against Saginaw Valley State last week, but you guys bounced back this week with homecoming win. So what statement does this make about the resiliency of this team?
It is a resilient team. It's a lot of character in the room. The guys are together. You know, I got guys after the game who are apologizing for certain mistakes they made out there, and you know, everybody really wants to win. Everybody really wants to get it done, and it's a fun team to coach.
You guys took a couple of risks, I guess you could say, today going forward on a fourth down a couple times. The onside kick to start the second half. Can you talk about what the rationale was for taking those chances?
Well, the fourth down was kind of in a position where a little bit too long to kick a field goal. You can't punt it. You might as well go for it. If you give them the ball on the 25-yard line, it's just like you kicked it out of the end zone. So let's go for it. And you know, they went with an all-out blitz, and we had a perfect read, hit the guy, touchdown. So that was good. The kickoff, they leave the middle of it open so wide that we had to do it. And basically, based on what we saw, we probably should have done it more. But we didn't feel like any of it was really risky. You know, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, you're really smart and risky. It was just
calculated.
Yeah, it was like, this should work.
Coach, walk us through that last drive and talk about the execution that your team displayed on that game-winning drive.
That was fun, wasn't it? The first play was a little tight end screen that we run, and I felt like if we get something on this, then we'll open it up, because there's a lot of time left. And if I felt like if we went deep or something on the first down and didn't get anything out of it, now we're, okay, are we going to get a first down? Are we going to have to turn the ball over? Are they going to get a chance to score? So it was really kind of a conservative play, and we hit it for about 25 yards. So that was huge. And then the next play, he scrambled and made a great throw to Steve Conway, a throw that I was afraid of. I was like, oh, don't, okay, good job. And then I think we scored on the next play. It was like a 3-play drive. So the execution on all 3 plays was really pretty outstanding.
Coach, it was a fun game, but I know one thing that had to be one thing that stuck in your craw a little bit, and that had to be the penalties.
Yeah, the penalties were tough. They were really tougher on them. I mean, they made a lot of penalties. I don't know what the final count is in the stats, but we had a penalty on the late hit on the quarterback, and Andrew Matt hit some here, and I think our guys watched it on Comcast because it was a live game. They watched it on Comcast, and it wasn't a late hit. You know, so that was just a decision where, okay, maybe he didn't have to make that call, maybe he did. Most of the other ones were all pretty legit. I don't think there were too many calls, other than maybe a high-low against us, where we're escaping the D-lineman holds us, and the other guy comes in and cuts him. They say that we're high-low, well, we're not high-low, we're trying to escape, we're not cutting, we're not post-chop. And they called a post-chop on us. So that's kind of, you know, iffy, but...
Ticky-tack.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, if you're not watching the play, it looks like we're high-lowing. But if we're running away and you're grabbing us, you're holding us, we're not holding you. So the next guy that cuts you is because you're holding. You know what I mean? If you hadn't held, you wouldn't have gotten cut by the other guy. So it was kind of, you know, it's one of those things we get called probably once every 3 games. And we just try to explain, hey, this is what we're doing. And we explain to afterwards.
When you guys went up 31-10, it kind of looked like you guys were just going to run them out of town. But they come back, obviously. What do you think factored into that? Was it them stepping up their game, or maybe the team relaxed?
I don't think we relaxed at all. You got to give them some credit. I think their coaches are doing a fantastic job with their kids. I think they're working real hard. You look at their season, and they struggled pretty badly and didn't respond in games like this earlier in the year. And then last week they just crushed Grand Valley. I mean, just crushed them, 38-10. And it was because those kids believe in the coach and they keep fighting. And, give them credit for that.
Coach Desmond stepped in and played a considerable amount of minutes tonight, even contributed a touchdown. Talk about what role the depth their running back played in this game today.
Well, Desmond did step up and ran the ball very well, and Tony ran the ball very well, and Jesse Johnson ran the ball very well. We have a load of talent. You also look at Christian Burks, who had a kickoff return, and Jay Hayes, who had a kickoff return and a run, and you're just trying to get all those guys some touches. And it's just almost impossible to do, especially when your offense isn't really rolling. We had the offense going a little bit today, so we were able to give those guys touches. I love what Jesse and what Des brings to us, and you got to get them the ball.
Talk about the danger in playing teams who have porous records, yet they have nothing to lose. Talk about the danger in playing those types of teams with nothing to lose.
You know what? Here's how I look at it, and even when the game was tight and they tied it up and it was a possibility that we could lose it, or not lose it, but go into overtime, I was like, God, this is fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, you want to beat everybody, but if you forget how much fun you're having, then this becomes a grind. You know what? So it was a tight game. That's what you play for. If they had a different name on their jerseys, let's say they were Pittsburgh State, and you had a game like that, boy, everybody be saying, you played your butt off, you guys are good, and all that other stuff. It was a game. It was a football game. It was a fun football game. And it's exciting to play fun football games. So I'm happy. I'm extremely happy.
So going off of that, like I can say you probably had a lot of fun coaching in the GLIAC over the past 10 years with such parity in the conference.
Well,
I mean, any given Saturday,
I guess expectation changes it sometimes. I think that we came off of a 2010 season where we were 9-2, and we thought we would win every game in 2011. So 2011, if I played this game where I felt like, hey, we're gonna win every game. We're not gonna play close games because we were killing people at the beginning of the season last year. I would have been PO'd. I would have been like, you guys got this team who's won 2 games and you're not playing better. But this is a different team. This is a team I'm happy that we win games. I don't know how much we can do or how much we can accomplish. We got a lot of young guys, and they're doing stuff that they've never done before. Everybody thinks, well, Mickey Mottner's a senior and Nick Thomas is a senior. Yeah, but he's next to a freshman, a redshirt freshman, a sophomore, and a lot of young guys. So as those young guys mature and their expectation grows, yeah, maybe I won't like this game so much. I'll be like, come on now, we're better than that. Right now, I've come to the realization that we are what we are, and we're going to fight for everything we get, and I'm going to have fun fighting for it. And if we go out and accomplish great things, that's because we worked our butts off for it, not because we are expected to. If that makes, I don't know if that makes sense to you. I hope it does. I kind of feel like I'm rambling, but, this team excites me.
Mickey threw an interception on a critical drive.
2 in a row.
And after you guys got the ball back, first play call was a pass. So was that to protect his confidence, or?
No, it was to get the first down. Mickey's a fifth-year senior. He takes a lot of abuse in blogs and things like that, and people say a lot of bad things about him, and he's pretty resilient. Here's a young man who has won more games than anybody in the history of Wayne State football. He's taken a team to the national championship. He's earned his degree in 4 years. He's in grad school. He had an internship with Deloitte & Touche. He's got everything going for him. So I don't have any concern about Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you threw an interception, you threw 2 interceptions. Go throw me a touchdown. Yes, sir. That's what he is. He's a great kid with a great future.
Playing Saginaw last Thursday, you guys had a long layoff. What kind of effect did that have on the game today?
Well, you know what? We came out hot. We came out strong, and I think we were fresh. it was almost kind of like we had a bye in the middle of the season, so it was good for us.
Well, with 2 losses at this point in the season, how important was it for you guys to win this game?
Critical. Critical. We can't afford to lose. We've got a tough schedule. We've got good teams on the schedule. If we win every one of our games, we'll see. You know, right now we're what, 5-2. I will say this: the disappointing thing for me is we played in the national championship last year, and there are teams that when they had 1 loss, they were automatically higher than us in the rankings. Now we have 2 losses. There are teams that are automatically higher than us with 2 losses. And I don't get that. I don't get why we don't really get national respect as a good football program. And I guess, you know, you win every game, that'll happen. But, you know, for example, when we were both 4-1, Grand Valley was like in the top 10 and we were 17 or 18. Why is that? You know, we played good teams. We've lost to good teams. We probably need to continue trying to earn more respect.
What do you think that? What do you attribute that to? Do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Do you think it has to do with region? Where you're
Nope.
from?
I have no idea. I mean, I can't tell you. I look at the schedule that we play, the teams that we play, the teams in Michigan especially, and Ashland, you add them into it. They're great football teams. They can play against anybody in the country and beat them. And we play a heck of a schedule every single year. We fight like heck to win these games, and we come up short a couple times. But to say we're not, you know, a top 25 team because we've lost to Hillsdale and Saginaw, I think everybody in the country has a chance to lose to Hillsdale and Saginaw. And should we have lost, or not Hillsdale, we didn't lose to Hillsdale, Ashland, who's undefeated, and Saginaw. So should we have lost those games? No. We felt we should have won them. But you shouldn't say we lost those games, we're not any good. Because I'm pretty sure both those teams don't necessarily enjoy playing us. They don't say, hey, we got Wayne State on the schedule, let's have a party. They say, oh God, we gotta play these guys. And they know we're gonna hit them in the mouth. So we'll see. Just keep winning and take care of your own business. That's what we have to do.
Can you just talk about that last drive, the game-winning drive there?
I mean, it was huge. Coach Winters called 4 great plays for us, and we were able to execute them and go down and win the game. Steve Conley made a huge catch, and basically won us the game. It got us to the 16-yard line, and we run the reverse with Dominique, and we won the game. I mean, it was huge.
Coach was talking about it was thrilling and exciting and just flat out fun being a game like this. Would you feel the same way?
Yeah, but at the same time, I would like less anxiety. Obviously, if I feel like if I don't make those 2 interceptions or I don't throw those 2 interceptions, the game's not even close. And obviously, we put ourselves in that situation, or I put us in that situation, and we needed to respond. And obviously, it's exciting to win a game winner like that at home, but it shouldn't have been that close.
You mentioned your interceptions. Talk about the adversity you had to overcome in this game.
I mean, Coach Winters will tell you I'm harder on myself than anybody can be. And, as a senior, I needed to just grow up and find it within myself to help us win this football game. I couldn't just go in a shell and stop playing. I needed to come out and make some plays for us, especially on that last drive. And, obviously Steve made a great catch. So we made a couple big plays in the passing game with the tight end screen as well. So, just to come out that last drive and help us win that game was huge.
The game was closer than many anticipated, but I was curious, what was your expectations heading into this matchup?
I mean, last week they beat Grand Valley, so in the GLIAC you have no idea what you're going to get every week. And I feel, even if Northern was 0-7 and they lost to the worst teams in the nation, we tend to play down to our competition for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but that's just how it is. And I think last week in their win over Grand Valley, Northern Michigan was able to find their identity a little bit. They changed their offense up. And they've always been big on defense. They got a big middle linebacker, a big D end, and they play physical. So we were expecting it to be a dogfight just like it is every week in the GLIAC.
Coach was saying that he pretty much has all the confidence in the world in you. He doesn't worry if you throw a if you throw an interception. you know, if that'll shake your confidence or anything. So what's it like to have, to know your coach has all the trust, all the confidence in the world in you?
I mean, it means everything. And you know, obviously I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm human. But for him to have all the confidence and just not go, hey, you know, maybe we should get the next guy ready. So for him to still have faith in me means the world to me, and it helps me, you know, not worry about, you know, oh, am I gonna get benched this next player or whatnot. But you know, him having that faith in me, I know that I can, you know, with him having faith in me, I know that I can play better.
And Nick, your defense gave up a number of huge plays in the second half. Evaluate your team's performance in the second half on the defensive side of the ball.
Disappointing, I'd say. You know, that's not how we play. That's not how we played all year. It was definitely a disappointing effort, both from an individual perspective and looking at our whole defense. You know, they definitely made some big plays. You know, the game tying catch was an incredible catch, and he just kind of put it in an unguardable spot. We were in perfect coverage, but you know. Not to make excuses, but we definitely had some misfits. It was a disappointing performance, but you know, fortunately we got 3 games to rebound and you know, get back to our old habits and just play smarter.
Was your rushing effort tonight as great as you wanted it to be, or
Are you talking about myself or
the team?
The team?
The defense as a whole was pass rush.
I mean, obviously, you know, we didn't have any turnovers, or I guess the last interception. But we really didn't have any turnovers. We really didn't have any game-changing plays that we kind of hang our hat on that we've, you know, provided for this team pretty much all year. So you know, obviously, yeah, I would say that we're again disappointed from that perspective. We blitzed a lot, but you know, it's nothing that we can't correct. That's the that's the positive, I guess, to take away from it. It's nothing that we can't correct. We're gonna come in next week and you know get better and not have the same showing next week.
Can you talk about that last drive of trying to tie the game? What was your mindset? What was it like being out there trying to stop them?
Yeah, you know, we have experience in that situation. Same thing happened against Hillsdale. I'm not sure if there's another one this year, but you know, we've been in that position before. Unfortunate that we had to be in that position because you know, we gave up the score at the end of the game to tie it before the offense went down and scored. But you know, backs against the wall. You know, we just got to come up with a stop, and you know, thankfully we did. We gave up a couple plays, a couple penalties, but you know, we've been in that position before. We're confident that we're going to be able to win on the last play. You know, that's kind of our philosophy, to win on the last play. We were able to do that today.
You mentioned the penalties. Defense had a couple that could have cost you guys the game. So what do you have to do to shore up that side of the ball?
I mean, it's uncharacteristic of us. You know, we haven't. Again, that's not what we do. We haven't done that all year. To me, you know, a couple of them were questionable. The roughing the passer on the interception. I was standing there watching it. It wasn't a roughing the passer from my perspective. But you know, we can't control the refs, and we have to take it in stride. And you know, we have to find a way to win regardless of what the calls are. And you know, obviously we got to be smarter in some of those situations. I know, on the offsides that I had. I wasn't expecting the hard count, but you know, that's not very smart football considering the situation. So we just got to get back to playing smart football. You know, being more mentally sound and more mentally focused.
This team entered the game with a 2-5 record, so they clearly had nothing to lose. Could you sense that while you played them in this game, that they kind of play with the "we don't care" attitude?
You know, I wouldn't say that. They obviously picked up some momentum from last week. They knocked off Grand Valley. They made some changes with their personnel, and you know, I think they're a different team watching them on tape, and you know what they showed today than they were earlier in the year. So obviously, you know, they definitely had some of that, you know, backs against the wall, and you know, do whatever, nothing to lose that attitude, but. You know, that doesn't excuse our play and doesn't excuse the big plays we gave up or the penalties.
You've been on this team for so long. How good is it to get a homecoming win? Does that ever get old?
No. You know, I think that's 8 straight, pretty sure. You know, I'm pretty confident that's probably the longest streak in Wayne State, or it's up there. So, you know, it's definitely a game that we want to win. It's something that we've kind of built our program around. You know, being able to win on homecoming. We don't want to make it as close as this one was, but we've had some other close ones. I remember Ashland a couple of years ago. We won on the last play with Joik back in, was that 09? So we've had some close ones on homecoming, but you know, fortunately we were able to come out with a win, and just got to get better, like I said.
Are you satisfied with the team's positioning at this point in the season, looking ahead?
I mean, we feel that we're confident that we control our own destiny. You know, obviously we can't lose any more games, and we have that attitude. You know, every game is a must-win game from here on out. Obviously, we can't control what else happens in the league, but all we can do is win and you know, treat every game like a must-win. Obviously, you know, I'd rather be undefeated, but you know, it is what it is. And I think if we have that mentality that every game is a must-win, I think we'll be all right. And we're gonna turn this thing around, especially on defense.
They were really pounding the ball with their run, and they had a couple big guys in the backfield, their quarterback and starting back. So what's the approach like when you're going up against guys that big? You're not going down on first contact.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things, you know, again, not to make an excuse because that's not the type of team we are, but we have seen a lot more shifty guys this year, not really the big power outside of Ashland and maybe Hillsdale. But I know Ferris coming in next week has, you know, they have a big quarterback, they got a big running back, and they run the ball a lot. So it's a challenge that we're going to have to meet. You know, we're just going to have to run our feet and be more solid with our contact, and you know, just tackle better. But you know, it doesn't really change anything for us in terms of how we're going to prepare. We're going to prepare hard like we do every week, and we're going to get better.